Heaven, a Web3 company based in Berlin, Germany. Been in US for a couple of years, in UX for a couple of years, and designed products across blockchain, fintech, SaaS, capital solutions, agriculture, and a couple of other industries. So today, without much ado, I'll be taking you guys on prototyping. So we have a lot of things to discuss today, and please feel free to ask questions wherever you don't understand, or feel free to call my attention in any way. Maybe I'm too fast or too slow, or you need clarity on something, just call me back, because the essence of this class is for you guys to understand how to prototype and then go on to make your static design look beautiful for design handoff. So it's going to be as practical as possible. And I hope all of you are on your system. So as I'm doing it, you can also be prototyping from your own end, and at the same time, at the speed of light. So I don't know if somebody has, so I think for us to be fast as possible and then not waste so much time, if somebody can share a Figma link to their wireframe, if you have any, on the comment section, so I can, and then give me edit access so I can use that wireframe as an example. Because designing and then wireframing might take a while, and then we just have, say, 2 hours to do this. So if somebody can give me access to their Figma file, or if there is any, and I can go on. Or if there is, just share me your Figma file and then give me access so I can kick off, and then we can converse along the way, because I need you guys to grab and then ask me as much question as you can. So let's save time. So please, if you have access, if you're currently on your laptop and you can send me your Figma file that has a wireframe, I really appreciate that. Anyone? Okay, while we are waiting for that, I'm just going to give us an overview of what prototyping is and why it's very, very important. So prototyping is basically a very simple and experimental model that is being used for proposed solution to test and validate your ideas and other design assumption before it's being hands off to developers for development. Now, why did I use that very simple and off the books definition? Prototype is, now let's take a scenario where you're done designing, and then by the time you've designed all your screens or your wireframes, you now hand it over to, let's say, the product manager or the dev, and then the next thing they're asking you is, if I click here, where does it take me to? Or the next screen, what is it about? And so you end up having your stakeholders confused. You end up having the devs or your product managers confused. Why? Because you didn't show them a model on what to do and what element they're supposed to click and what action they're supposed to take them to the next point of decision. That is why prototyping is very, very important. And also it helps speed up your design process in a way where before you even hands off to devs with a properly prototyped product or a properly prototyped design, you can do what we call user testing. Okay, so let's say you're done designing and then you want to validate that this idea and what you work on works for the user before you hand it off for development. A properly prototyped product can serve that purpose. And so what you do is just hand off your prototype to okay. Mariam says she can't hear me clearly. Can everybody hear me? Am I audible enough? I need feedback. Lois Samson. Okay, Aminat can hear me. Craig, can you hear me? If you can hear me. Okay, okay, okay. Mariam, I think it should be your network. Probably if you can just shift from where you are to somewhere that you can get more reception. Okay, guys, please, if you guys have a prototype, if you guys have a wireframe, please just send it across while I finish my explanation. Okay, so as I was saying, so you can also use your prototype for user testing. By the time you're done with your designs, by the time you're done with the high fidelity mockup, or even your wireframe, before you go on to hands off to devs, because by the time the devs implement the design, it becomes very expensive to do any change you want to make. So that's where the prototype comes in. When you link all your screen, prototype it properly, and then you get your users and you send them a link to your prototype. So when you're doing the user testing, it becomes pretty much easy because they already have like a working product, but this time around it is a model. That's why it's called a prototype. It's a first their first contact with the real product before it becomes live. So it's just like Tesla has a plan to build a model X. They first of all make one model and then run it through several testing and all that before going ahead to mass produce. So by the time they take that first model is the prototype, and then run it through all the testing they need to do and make sure the user understands the product, its market fit and everything before they go on to mass produce. So that is like the real life example of what a digital prototype is. So you take that first product, which is a Figma link with prototype, you do all the testing you need to do, get all the feedback you need to get, and then iterate as much as you can. And by the time you're done with the prototype, you're now sending it to the devs for development. At that point, you already have a working product that the devs could just click on and then use it to do the implementation and all that. Okay, so what is sent to me here? What Ebuka sent to me is a working product already. Okay, I'm gonna do this, but Ebuka, please give me edit access. Give me edit access, please. But before we prototype this your own, oh wow, these are really this is an amazing design. I don't know if this is right because this thing looks like a work they gave you to do, and then you want me to help you and prototype it to get it. So let me just I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start afresh and then we'll come back to your work later. But try and give me edit access. Okay, so that's basically what the prototype does. It makes your work 10x faster, and it makes you deliver. It's your personal project. Okay, so it makes you deliver your ideas explainable, make it explainable to the devs and to all stakeholders before it goes for development. So I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Okay, I think everybody can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a wireframe. Before we go to Ibuka's personal project, I'm going to do a wireframe, and then I'll explain what all the prototype functions are. Okay, let me make this screen large enough. Awesome. So let me go to the iPhone X marks, select your frame, and then label my frame, sign in. Awesome. Now I want to do this. I want to create a sign-in form. Just watch what I'm going to do. Make this 56 with 4, and then give it a stroke rather than a fill. This is just a prototype, please. So pardon the roughness. Let me do email address. But doing this a prototype, let's be professional here. Make this a column. I want to give it a margin of 24 and a count of 6. Yeah, that's perfect. Using the 8-point grid system. Awesome. Okay, and this can be 16 and this. So I want to group this and duplicate here and then make it 24. Then make password. Okay, then I want to do this. This will be 14. Give it a stroke. To show password. Make this a 14. Awesome. Then I want to do my button. Button should not be more than 50. Make it 4. Then give it a feel of this. Okay. So please, your prototype don't have to be as nice as this. Just using this for our class for today. I want to make this 16. Awesome. So this is sign in, and then I'd like to duplicate this and say already have an account. Sign up. Okay, let's say don't have an account. Sweet. So since this is awesome. So this is my sign-in screen. I want to duplicate this and then fill this up. Let me use Aminat at example.com. This is our email address. Then I want to do this password xxxxxxx. If you guys will need to draw my attention to anything, please just let me know so I don't get too fast and ahead. Okay, and then I want to do this show password. I want to make this a field. This awesome. Before we go there, I want to duplicate the screen and make this a proper field. So please just follow me. But since just follow me, then I'm going to change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's my sign in flow. I want to make this my sign up flow. Sign up. I want to take this upwards. Something with this. And then I want to make this full name, email address, password. Oh, confirm password. Let me see if anybody dropped. Okay, I can't see your chat. So if you want to ask a question, just unmute and speak. Confirm password, then I can do sign in, then I can change this to sign up. Sign in. Awesome. You can also do this. Minutes. Minutes. That works. Now you can also do this. Minutes at example.com. Okay. We can also do this. XXXX. Need to show my password here. Change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then duplicate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. So now let's shoot. So if you want to start your prototyping, go to the right hand side of your design, you see prototype. When you click on it, it displays this. As it is right now, it's not functional because you've not clicked on any of the elements. Okay, so it tells you the device you're working on. It tells you the model. You can change this to whatever you want. This is the preview of the screen mockup. You can change it to gold or whatever you want. And then this is the background that the mockup will be on. You can change this color as well. So when you click on the board, click on any of the prototype, or when you hover over it. Now, when you click on the prototype on the frame, sorry, you will see this knot. Let me zoom in. Now you see this knot, and then this knot brings up this plus sign. Okay, this knot brings up this plus sign. What this plus sign represents is like an addition. It's where you can create a link from. Let me use that word. So this plus sign enables you to create a link from this element to another element. That's the work of this plus sign. So when you are prototyping, now the work of a prototype is just like when you have your regular application, whether it's a native application or it's a website. You know that when you click on a particular thing, let me show you an example. Which website am I going to go to? Let me go to Piggyvest. Look at the piggyvest.com. Okay, so I'm in Piggyvest now. Now, if you notice, when you click on anything on this Piggyvest, okay, it takes you to another page entirely. Let me show you that. If I click on this create account, okay, first of all, notice if I hover over here, this color changes. Now, the reason why this is being done is because this is how it's being coded. But you cannot call your dev, and then tell your dev that, guy, if you hover over this thing, it's supposed to change to blue. Then we don't understand. So what the designer did here was to prototype this in a way where when you hover over it, it changes its color. Okay, and so that is what your prototype is. So when you hover over a document, it changes its color, number one. If I click on this, it goes to, when I click on this, it opens up another page entirely. Now, that clicking that opens up another page entirely, guys, give me a minute. Okay, that clicking that opens up entirely is done by prototype. Give me a minute. Let me switch from this laptop to another. I think I'm having some connection issues. On the frame or any of the elements you want to link to, you discover that you see this knot here. And then this knot, when you click on it and drag, it brings up this arrow that links to another device. Now, mind you, prototype cannot link to an element inside a frame. Okay, you can link one frame to another frame, but you cannot link an element to another element inside. Why? Because prototype only works with frame. Why is that? If you look at this right-hand side, you see this preview. What you'll be seeing is the whole frame of the design. And that is why, if you notice what I did here, I duplicated this. If you notice what I did here, I duplicated this. So what you cannot do is to link your prototype from this frame to this thing inside here. It's not possible. Okay, so what you want to do is link from an outside frame. Okay, link from an okay, let's just go back. So what you want to do is to link from an inside element to an outside frame, not from an inside element to another inside element. Okay, and then let's say you make a mistake and you want to cancel, just click on that arrow and delete it. It will delete automatically. So when you click on a frame or you click on an element, you will notice that if you drag this and place it anywhere, it brings up these interaction details. Now I'm going to explain what these interaction details, because these are like the basic, divided into two, your interaction details and then your animation. So what does that mean? Notice I clicked on an element inside of this frame and drag it to another frame. And here it shows me tap. So which means whenever I play this prototype, let me play it for you so you see what I mean. So when you want to play a prototype, you notice that the first let me delete this. The first screen you click on and you perform an action, this screen automatically becomes your starting flow. So it means when you click on either this play button or this play button here, your prototype will start from this screen. You can always name the screen. From flow 1, I can name it to start, and it changes to start. Okay, so I'm going to click on here, so this thing will play. So what I'm going to do is I will show you from the prototype, from this play. What this play is like a preview. Okay, that play is a preview. It's a preview of what you are prototyping. Awesome. So this is our prototype, and nothing is working here because it has not been prototyped. But let me show you how to make this, everything that's here, work. So now I want to link sign in to the next screen. Okay, so what I would do is when I click on this sign in, it brings up this plus node. I drag it to this element and it shows me here tap, and it shows me navigate to. So what that means is if I tap on this button, it will navigate to the next screen, which is labeled sign in. If I change this screen to first name, you will discover that, and then click on this arrow, it will change from here to first name. So what that means is when I tap, navigate to the next screen, that is first name. So let me show you here. When I tap here, sign in, it navigates to the next screen. Let me go back. Watch. Sign in, it navigates to the next screen. Navigates to the next screen. When you click on the back key, it goes back to the previous flow, the previous screen, navigates to the next screen. That is what tap does. Okay, so let me open this tab drop down and show you other options that are there. So when you click on it, you see drag. So what that means is when I drag, if I tap on this drag, it means whenever my mouse comes here and I drag this thing, it should navigate to this option. So let me show you. When I go back, when I drag, either I'm dragging in or dragging out. So you notice that when I drag this, see if you can observe very well, you see the action is taken. This is the previous screen. When I drag it, it goes to the next screen. Okay, so the next one says when I hover over it. So what happens is when my mouse or my cursor hover over this element, it should go to the next screen. This is it. When it hovers over like this, go to the next screen. Watch. Over, it goes to the next screen. Over, it goes to the next screen. The next one says while I'm pressing it. So this one is different from tap. This one is press. It means I have to tap and hold. It goes to the next screen. Tap and hold. It goes to the next screen. And then this one says, this one is for key or gamepad. It's for when you're doing designing for games and all that. This one is when my mouse enters. So it's almost the same thing like hover in and all that. So once my mouse just cross on this place, it should go to the next screen. See, when my mouse cross on it, it should go to the next screen. And then when my mouse leaves, So if you notice that my mouse entered this, but it came to this screen, it didn't go back to the next screen. Let me show you. When I change this to while hovering, you notice that as my mouse hover over it, it changes to the next screen. But once my mouse leaves, it goes back to the previous screen. But when I change it to mouse enter, when my mouse enters it, it moves to the next screen. But when my mouse leaves, it refuses to go back. So what I'm going to do is, if I change this to mouse leave, it means as it's in this screen, when my mouse leaves it, it should go back to the next screen. Touchdown is almost the same thing once my mouse comes down on it. So now, what are all of these interactive options? Okay, now these are used for different purposes in your design. I used Piggyverse as an instance. You notice one thing in Piggyverse: when my mouse hover over this, you see how this changes. It means the action that was used for the prototyping interaction that was used here was while hovering. So it means when my mouse hover over this, it should change to another color. You notice how this happens. When my mouse hover over it, change to another color. When my mouse leaves, it goes back to the previous settings. Same thing with every other button that is here. See how these things are shaking. My mouse enters it, it goes to another state. When my mouse leaves, it returns to its previous state. Okay, so notice even this learn more button, see how it performs. So I'm going to show you all how to perform these various actions. So that is that for that. And then let's go to animation. Now, animation, what this means is when I tap here, it should instantly navigate to this screen. When you tap here, instantly navigate to this screen. So which means there is no animation that should play here. But when I change this from instant to dissolve, what this means is once I tap here, the next screen should dissolve in subtly. Where is the, let me look for a very perfect example for you. Okay, now do you see how this works? You see how subtle, as my mouse hovers over this, it didn't just immediately change. It didn't change instantly. It took its time and it came in subtly. So once I hover over it, see how gentle it changed. When my mouse left it, it gently went back to its previous state. That is what this dissolve means. So you look at the preview here. This thing didn't subtly come in and come out. I can choose to make it ease in and ease out. So the same way it subtly came in, that's the way to subtly go out. I can change the timing from 300, the default is 300 milliseconds. I can change it to 1000 milliseconds. So what that means is the amount of time it will delay in performing that action. This is where you control it. Okay. If you want to do SmartAnimate means if you've ever visited a site where, let me see if this has it, where as you click on something, instead of it to come immediately, it can either come from the right and you just play in, like it will just come as if it came in from the left and cover the screen, or we drop down from the right, from the top to the bottom. I'm going to show you how this works. So if I change this to SmartAnimate, and then I could do ease in, ease out. I could leave it at ease in, I could leave it at ease out, or ease in back, or these are just different options. And then change it to 1000 milliseconds. So let me show you the options. When I click here, see how it happens. As I click on it, the SmartAnimate automatically subtly changes this option to this. So I hope we have enough time. So I'm going to do different designs to show you where all of this applies, because you can't use this on every screen. Okay, I'm just trying to explain this to you. You could ease in, ease out, see the preview. It automatically gently slides in, and it could gently slide out as well. You could do moving from your left, moving from the top, moving from the bottom. Look at the preview from here, or moving from the left. So what that means is, if I click on here, see how it came in. If I choose moving from the top to the bottom, click on this, see how it came in. So these are many more. Same thing with move out, slide in, and the rest. So pushing, it pushes the previous thing that was there. See this. You see. So have you ever seen a design that a website that does this, and you're wondering how they achieved that? This is it. So these are different things that you could do with Figma. You can play around it on your free time and all that. So let me go back to my designs, and then let me show you how to prototype on different screens. So first of all, what you want to do is, you want to, since you already have your user flow and your wireframe, you know what screen leads to the next screen. Okay, so what most persons do is, you're doing your designs, and then you see this email address, passwords, and then probably they may not leave it blank. They may just leave it like this. While that is good, that may not be perfect for prototyping. There are advanced prototyping. For instance, if I want to do advanced prototyping, I really don't need to duplicate screens like this. I could just do with something as simple as my component. I could wireframe these two elements inside my component and then prototype it. But because you guys I'm still teaching you the basics, so let me duplicate these screens, and so you don't get lost along the way. So for a start, or for as starters that you are, what you want to do is, you want to look at how many screens it will take to show what you want to show. This is the end product of what I want people to see: the username and the password and the sign in. But before I get to this end product, there are processes. It's just like you launch your app. You don't just jump from here and you click on email address and it takes you here. No, you pass through a process. You type in your username, you type in your password. You can choose to show password or not, and then you now takes you to sign in. You can even look at sign up. So every function, whether it's a text field or it's a button, has to be implementable. It has to work. All right? It has to work. And that is the reason why I'm showing you this. Somebody left a comment. So one has to create each state to achieve each interaction. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You need to create each state to achieve that interaction. Like I said, as beginners, it's important that you do this so you don't end up getting confused. But if you have enough time, I can show you how to do some really cool prototyping from just your components. Remember, this can be components because it's reusable across different screens. So you can do this in components and not bother doing all of this. But for start, for each state you want to prototype, you have to create a screen for that. And that's why when you look at some designer screen, look at the wireframe, it looks like like web, and you're wondering how is it possible? It's because of this. For it to work, you can have as many as 200 screens just to make that product work. Okay, so what we want to do is, we want to click on our prototype, and then we want to click on this and drag it to this. Now, do you see this preserve scroll position? Why this is important is, if you are building a product or you're prototyping your product, and you don't want your user to click on a product and it takes them to the very beginning. Imagine if you come to Piggyverse and you click on create your account, and then while you're filling your form, you know that this form is long. As you're filling the form, you're scrolling down,
and then you now get to create an account and you click on it, or you get to click on next, for instance. And instead of it to take you to the next screen for you to continue from where you stop, it will now go to the very beginning. It can be very, very frustrating. That is what this preserve scroll position is. Once you click on here, in your prototype, wherever that place is in measurement, that is where it will begin in the next screen, where you preserve scroll position. But if you want it to start from the very beginning, you can untick this and to go to the very beginning. So my email address is coming here. Then I click on my password and I drag it here. And then I click on show prototype and I drag it here. Then there's no flow to sign into. So I want to come to sign up and drag it here. I want to come to sign in and drag it here. Yeah. I want to come to first name, email address, password, and then show password, and then confirm password, and then sign in should also take me to this screen. Okay, same thing with this. Every actionable button or element has to be prototyped. It's very important. So this is what now you already see that this is now looking like a prototype. So I want to play this. It's played. Now, if you want to know, Figma has a very, very unique and nice function that makes you know, because the first time user may not know where to click. So when you click at any of the elements, it shows you what we call the hotspots. So you see how this place that is prototype is showing blue. It's a hotspot. It means that place should be clicked. So when you click on it, you see how it happens. Same thing. You click on show password. You can click on sign in or sign up. You can go back to sign in or go back to sign up. You get so you see how each product is working as if the user is using it in real time. Full name, email address, password, confirm password or show password, confirm password, and you sign up. And your product is effortless. So imagine handing over something like this to the devs. They don't have to come back and you don't even have much explanation to do. In the stakeholder meeting, all you have to do is just be clicking and be explaining along the way, and they automatically understand what each feature is supposed to do, rather than handing over to them screens that are naked like this. They don't know what to do with it. So even with a screen like this, you can test this sign-up screen by handing it over to for user testing. Users can just click on it and follow the process and then tell you their challenges and their issues. But imagine you hand over a screen like this where you hand over a product where this is sign-up screen and then this is already existing stuff. The user becomes confused. Where do I click? How did I get here? And so you're doing user testing and you're wondering why your users are confused. It's because of issues like this. So when you're prototyping, ensure that each clickable element, each actionable element is linked to the action is supposed to perform. That is very, very important. Okay, so that is that for on tap. So I want to show you something. Now, if you notice that on this Piggyverse site, when I hover over this, it changes color. I want to show you how to do that. I want to take this and duplicate it outside here. I want to name this active state. I want to name this hover state. And then I want to change the color of my hover state to pure black. Make this white. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to prototype this. Notice what I'm doing here. Okay, this is very important. I first of all I want to prototype this, drag this onto here, change it from on tap to while hovering, and then change from navigate to. Remember, I told you navigating to means it will take you to this element. The downside of it is this element is not a screen as full as this. So if you click on this, rather than take it to a full screen, you take it to this element and it will spoil your prototype. Let me show you. You see how this is over. This is how your prototype will look like. It is taking you to an entirely different stuff altogether because this does not belong to any screen that can fit into this dimension. So you want to change this. Now, this navigate to means go over to the next screen. I want to change this to open overlay. So what is an overlay? I hope I can get a perfect example of an overlay. If I click on this, it's not supposed to open. Awesome. An overlay. Can I get a perfect example of an overlay on this? I don't think there is any. But if you've used a product where you click on an element, and instead of it to take you to another flow, let me show you. Let me try this. Let me go to fund a course. I think fund a course has a perfect example of an overlay. Awesome. Let's click on donate now. Let's click on sign up. So do you see what happened here? When I clicked on sign up, it opened this. This is an overlay. Instead of going to another screen, it opens up this overlay where you can perform an action that can take you to the next screen. That is what this is. Open overlay. So which means when I click on this, it's supposed to take me, instead of taking me to the next screen, it's supposed to open that element up in that exact screen like this. So let me show you. What that means is when I hover over here, can you see how this sign up has come in on top of this other screen? Instead of navigating to, it came in on top of this other screen. That is an overlay. I can still go further to set my overlay to mean add background behind the overlay. I can change the settings from a 25% opacity to a 75% opacity. So what that means is when it hovers over here, the overlay opens up and then it gives a dark shade background. This is what happens here. See how bright this is. When I click on sign up, while this overlay opens, there's a light shade of black at this background. What that means is it's remove the emphasis on the background and places the emphasis on this element. That is what this means. But if you notice, this sign-in button is centered. This is because my overlay says it should be centered. Remember, open overlay, this is centered. If I don't want this to be centered, if I want to direct the flow of action to where I want it to be, I click on centered and then choose it to send it to manual. When I send it to manual, it opens up here. I can now choose to direct it wherever I want it to open up, but let me leave it at here. So what happens is when I hover over here, it opens up an overlay and it stays in that same exact position. I want to remove this background in my overlay. So this is what happens. When I hover over sign in, see what happens. Are you seeing this? It changes from the regular sign in to the black. This is prototyping for you. I can choose to add an animation to it. Dissolving, ease in, ease out. So this is it. See how subtle it is. This is what Piggyverse did here. I can choose to change this from 1000 to 500. See, it's no longer very hard, very subtle, isn't subtly and is out subtly. This is exactly what these guys did here. We've achieved that. Do I have any question or should I continue? So like the Piggyverse website that changes color, will one have to create another frame or button? No. So you've seen what I just explained, like clicking on to full image. No. So you see what I just explained. Rather than doing another screen, instead of wasting time, just recreate the element outside and then use while hovering and then open overlay and then manually swap. So like I showed you earlier, if you leave it as centered, what happens is the overlay automatically centers it. If I choose left, it automatically makes it left. If I choose any of this I choose, it would stay in that position. But I want to control the position. I think somebody muted me. Okay, I think it's okay now. So I can choose to manually take this to anywhere I want it to be. If you see, I'm the one controlling this, but I want it to be fit into this frame. So look at what happens. Automatically makes it fit into this frame. So whenever I hover over this, it fits into this frame. What happens is this particular element changes to this, but it doesn't leave the whole of this frame. It's just like you're bringing this sign-in button into this frame. So you're changing this inside element here. You're changing this to this. That is what happens. Okay. So that is what open overlay does. So now, but you notice that this cannot take me to the next screen. So what I want to do is, can we use it for pop-up message too? No, you cannot use it for pop-up message. I will show you what you can use for pop-up message. So now notice that this sign-in button that is here was supposed to perform an action, which is to take me to the sign-in screen. But I have removed the connection from taking me to the sign-in screen to making it an overlay, replacing it with this screen. And in Figma, you can't have two connections in one screen. You'll just be confusing yourself. You can do this, but it will be confusing at the end of the day. So what happens is I come to this outside screen here. I click on this, and then I do this. Drag it to the screen you want it to connect to, which for me is my sign-in screen. So notice what I did. I took this outside sign-in flow, sign-in button inside here, and then prototype it whereby if I click on it, on tap, it should navigate to this sign-in screen. So let me play the prototype for you. While hovering, change to this screen. Then when you click on that screen, it should take you here. That is what Piggyverse did here. While hovering, click. Are you seeing that? Pretty much simple and straight to the point. Hope we all understood what I did here before I move to the second prototyping function, answering Higma's question. Can I get a feedback? Do we all understand what I did here? Can we replicate this in our designs if asked to? From the regular prototyping to this other prototyping. Okay, sure, you guys can. So, Higma asked the question. Figma said, can we use it for pop-up message too? For pop-up message, there are two types. Now, let me show you something. When I first came to, let me go to interaction design. I think interaction design have a lot of interaction design foundation has a lot of pop-up message and all those block sites. Let me click on any of this. Let me see if that pop-up will come in. Okay, that pop-up didn't come in, but let me prototype it for you and show you how to use that for pop-up. I think you can also use that. Awesome. So let's do something. Now let's do this. Let me create a frame. Let me do it white, and then let me type welcome Higma to design power. To design power. Now let me show you how pop-up works. As you go into a website for the first time, you see that pop-up. Let me show you how that works. Now, click on your prototype. Click on this outside frame. If you click on the outside frame, you see this thing. Drag it here, and instead of on tap, take it to after delay. So what that means is, once a person joins, after this first screen has delayed for a particular millisecond or normal second, you should change to this. So after delay, let me change this thing to 2000 milliseconds. Navigate to, change it to open overlay. You should open overlay and then center it to this. And then drag this just like you did for this, from this to this. After it has delayed also for 2000 milliseconds, navigate to this screen. Let me not get you confused. Let me start over again. Click on the outside element. Remember, what you're trying to do here is you want to do pop-up. When you visit a website for the first time, you see all those plenty crazy pop-up that pops up. You want to prototype that. So I want to pop up. I'm in this screen, but I want it to pop up to the next screen. But before it goes that, it has to show me a message. Click on the outside frame, drag it to this frame, change from on tap to after delay. What that means is, by the time the user has stayed on this screen for 2000 milliseconds, it should navigate to this screen. But remember, I said it can't navigate to this screen because in our flow, in our prototype, we are using a frame that is an iPhone screen. So this will distort our prototype. So I don't want it to navigate to, I want it to, after delay, open it as an overlay. But don't just open it as an overlay. By the time this opens as an overlay, if you don't direct this overlay to somewhere else, it will remain like this. So I want to direct this overlay to this second screen and then change it to after delay for 2000 seconds. It should also come back to this screen. This is one way. Second way, I can choose to let me create a cancel button. Let me just create a rough cancel button. Okay, group this and then take it here. Awesome. So let me go to my prototype. So rather than after delaying it, I want to click on here. When you cancel it, close that overlay. So what happens is, if you ever see the situation where they say cancel, just like what this is now, if I click on this cancel, it closes that overlay and brings me back to the screen I was. That is what this does. You can prototype this to cancel overlay. So let me play my prototype. Let me show you. So have you seen this? But let's give it a little background of say 50%. Okay, let me restart. After delay of 2000 seconds, it changes. Let me make this 5000 so you see it very well. This is my starting flow. Once I go over here, restart the prototype. Just see, imagine you're the one scrolling through this website. Automatically the pop-up comes up. You can now choose to click on this exit. It exits. But if I want it to, instead of exiting, I want it to pop up and automatically take me to another screen. I can connect it from here to navigate to this screen after it has delayed for its own number of seconds. But we aren't going to do that today. So that is how pop-up works. I can create my pop-up and just keep it here. And I don't need to create another screen for that pop-up. What happens is, once it comes here and it delays, restarts, delays for a couple of seconds, automatically it comes up. I can choose to continue what I'm doing or just exit it and continue reading what I'm reading. So Figma, you understand how to make that happen. Okay, so I want to show you, let's do a website now. I want to show you something. Let's do MacBook Pro. And then let me duplicate this and change this to 100. Okay. I want to do a logo here. I want to do about. I want to do profile. I want to do contact us. And then now this profile, I want to make this profile have a drop down. I'm going to change this to 180 and make it black. I want to make this profile have a drop down. So this is a profile with a drop down. And then I want to drag this and bring it here. So now I want to show you something. You can do it two ways. You can choose to do multiple screen, but I will not do multiple screen because it doesn't solve something I want to show you in prototyping. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create another this, and then I'm going to say in profile, we want to have company, want to have careers, want to have vision. Now, this is the drop down for profile. Can we prototype this? Yes. Click on your prototype. Click on the profile. Okay, let me group this. Awesome. Click on the profile. This is activated. Drag it here. This is where on tap, navigate to open overlay comes in. So when I click on this open overlay, it automatically tells me it's centered. I don't want it to be centered. I want it to be manual. So you see this, I don't want it to cover the profile, so I have to drag it down and keep it here. Observe what I'm doing. Now, profile, company also have its own children inside. This is company's own children. So if you open company, company wants to have about us, company wants to have locations. How do I make profile to drop down, make company to also drop down inside about us? This is where prototype comes in. I prototype this to have a manual drop down, and then I come to company and I click on company. Let me group this. I click on company and I drag my prototype to this, and I change it from on tap to and I change it from on tap. Yeah, leave it at on tap. While I tap it, change it from navigate to swap overlay. So what happens is it changes from here to here. Swap overlay to this flow. Now let's play our prototype. This is flow 1. Let me play this. Oh, okay. You guys should pay keen attention to what I want to show you now. It will save a lot of manpower. Okay, I didn't change this. Let me change this to MacBook Pro 14. Okay. Perfect. So are you seeing this? When I come to profile and I click on it, it opens. I can choose to make this profile I can choose to animate it rather than just opening casually like this. Close when you click outside. Rather than just opening casually like this, I want it to open with style. Come to animate, moving and moving from up. So this is what happens. See how it moves in. Okay. So when I click on profile, profile moves in. I click on company, company replaces it. Did you see that? I can choose to say, okay, so I want to also go back to company. So remember this symbol shows that there's a drop down. This symbol can also show that I can also do this 90. And then I can still prototype it, or I can choose to just bring this downwards and do this for usability, for accessibility's sake. So when I click on here, it swaps overlay. So click, I can go back. Are you seeing this? So this is where this swap overlay prototypes comes in. So I can also choose to change this from click to while hovering, what happens is, if you're watching a website where you hover over the menu and it changes, you're seeing this now. It hovers over, it changes. You can now go in. So if you notice, what happens is when I hover over, it changes. I can't go in. So what I want to do is I want to change this from while hovering to mouse enter. Okay. So when my mouse enters it, it stays that way. Then I can now click on and perform whatever action. So you see how I've been able to use all this function at different intervals. So that is where each of these interaction details and whatever you have comes in. Now, you guys know what tooltip is. I'm going to design a little tooltip and show us how to use tooltip. This is a tooltip. I want to change this to black. Okay, I want to do this. So this is what a tooltip looks like. Okay, why is my tooltip not showing? I want to change this to 180. Awesome. So this is what my tooltip looks like. I want to write here, this is just a test. I want to group this tooltip to this frame. So what is a tooltip? If you've ever used a product where you've ever seen a situation where you see like a warning sign or a help sign, if you've seen something like this, let me do a rectangle, and then let me do this. If you've ever seen something like this in like you want to guide your user through whatever you need them to do. Let's say something like, for instance, show password, and you want to explain what show password is. This is where this thing comes in. Oh man, this looks very big. Let me reduce it so it can fit into our design. Awesome. So let me show you how to do this. Prototyping solves this. So you want to come to your prototype. You want to, okay, let me take this to the first screen so we don't end up duplicating effort. Okay, I want to take this to this screen and place it here. This is my first screen. I want to also take this to this screen. So I want to prototype this whereby when the user's mouse hover over here, it should bring up this tooltip that explains what that show password means. Now notice something. This while prototyping this thing cannot find this. Do you know why? Because this is not a frame, this is a group. So I have to make this into a frame. Make it into a frame. Automatically becomes findable. So I want to click this to this. Now, if you notice, this can also be an element or a group. But why you can find it is because it is inside a frame. It is nested inside a frame. This is standing alone on the whole artboard. So prototype only works by frame. It can go into another flow, flowing frames, not elements on its own. That is why that happened. So I want to do this while my mouse hovers over this element. It should open this up. But while I navigate, open overlay, and then manual. Then I can now drag it to this. Let it below like this. Awesome. I can play my prototype, choose this. So you see this, while my mouse hovers over, it brings up this. If you've seen this thing before in the website, this is how it is achieved. Somebody says something. Okay. Okay, let me try and use Ebukas. So do we have any question so far on prototyping? Can we now comfortably prototype our designs? Or if you have any question you will need me to answer, please go on and do that. Let me look for Ebukas. Ebuka, can you please reshare that your link? I don't think I can find it here. Okay. Okay, while Ebuka shares this link, please, you guys can ask me question. Unmute yourself and ask as much question as you can. We still have a couple of minutes to spare. Whatever you don't understand on prototyping, probably you've seen a prototype somewhere that you need me to explain. Please go on and I have a question. Stanley has a question on prototype. Stanley, please unmute yourself and ask a question. Hello, Stanley. Okay, Mariam, ask your question while we wait for Stanley to get.
Yes, sir. Is that how are we going to know which of those elements to use? Which of those prototyping?
Mariam, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now?
Mariam, okay. I want to get the quiet, please. Mariam, ask your question, please.
Can you hear me,
Let
sir?
me see your line, cause.
Can you hear me?
Okay. But so far, do you guys understand all I've said on prototyping? Do you have questions? The clarity or whatever you need us to talk about? Am I the only one that cannot hear Mariam? I can't hear her.
I can hear
Can you
her.
hear me now?
Okay, this is Ebuka's prototype. Let me see Ebuka's
Can you hear me?
okay. This is beautiful. I can't hear Mariam.
Mr. Joseph, can you hear me?
Okay, why can't I hear Mariam? Okay, Mariam, speak. Let me see if I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Awesome. I can hear you. Go on, please.
Is that how we're going to know which of those prototype tools to use? That which one fits with this?
Okay, so just like what I've been doing since, I'm showing you different types of ways to use it. When you're doing your designs, just like I said that you want to connect you want to connect this when they click on this, let's say you're filling in your form, you click on this text box, it should take you to the next screen. The primary thing or what you need to understand is what you want to do is when I click here, take me to this screen. It's as simple as your prototype will tell you on click, navigate to the next screen. Do you understand? But let's say you want to do, I want people to, when they hover over here, they should see this explanation. It's as simple as saying, when I hover over, so instead of saying click, say while people hover over here, take us to this place. But now, don't navigate to. Why? Because you don't want them to navigate to. You want it to open as an overlay. So while users hover over here, open overlay, and don't open overlay centered, because okay, let me undo this to make it easier for you to understand. So while users hover, this is the default it will give you. Click and navigate to, but you have to change the setting yourself. So while users hover over here, while I hover over, don't navigate to, open it as an overlay. But what is an overlay? An element that opens on top of another element. But while opening as an overlay, don't give me a default, which is for it to be centered. Make it manual, because I want to place that overlay in a particular spot. So once you change it to manual, you discover that this gives you a preview of where it's supposed to be. Just click on that preview element and drag it to where you want it to be. In this case, I want it to be here. Drop it here. So when you play your prototype, it will give you that exact action you performed. Okay. So while hover over here, see, this is how your prototype works. Can't hear me. Ebuka cannot hear me. Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, perfect. So that is how every action you want to perform, Figma has made it so user-friendly that you don't need to think about it. Automatically, the action here gives you the information of what you want to do. Now, if you notice, what I want to do here is, let me explain it again. I want this button. If you look, I created two buttons. I created action and hover. So I want you to perform an action. That action is when the mouse hover over this button, let this button change its state. We call it interactive design. So if you look at this Piggyverse, when the mouse came in here, it changed. This is interaction. It looks like everything here is alive. Why? Because of the interaction that was done on it. Everything here changes its color or gives you a particular thing. Look at even this learn mode has its own. You get? So see how this element changes. That is what prototyping does. So what I want you to do is when my mouse enters or when it hovers, I want you to perform another action. So simple and plain, click on it, connect it to that action you want it to perform, that element you want it to be linked to, and then come here, rather than on click, choose, do you want it to hover over? Is it when the mouse hovers over it or when the mouse enters it? What do you want it to do? While hovering, so while my mouse is hovering over here, navigate to, no, open an overlay, but don't give me a centered overlay, give me a manual overlay so I can choose to place it anywhere I want to place it. Manually take, sorry, manually open the overlay while hovering, open overlay, manually, why is this thing doing this? Okay. Click on it. Manually allow me do what I want to do in my design. So I can choose to place it here. I can choose to place it here. I can choose to place it anywhere, but I want it to fit into this because I want it to replace this. So look at what I did. While hovering on this, navigate to this and open it as an overlay to replace this. At the same time, when it replaces this, remember the element in this sign up has changed from the original element to this one. So which means it is no longer this inside one that is working. Once it changes to this outside one, it's outside one that is working. So I want this outside one to now, when it hovers and changes this, I want this to perform an action for me. I want to click it and let it take me to here. On clicking of this, navigate to this, and that is how it works. So once my mouse enters, it changes, and then when I click it, it opens up this. Do you understand? So where to apply depends on what you are prototyping. Remember, I also told you, somebody asked a question on, Figma asked a question that how do I do a pop-up? And I showed you guys, pop-up, the pop-up prototyping was done because there was a need for pop-up. So what I did was to show you how to take while after delay, if you open up this and then I can close it and all that, automatically that is solved. So where your prototype comes in is what you need to do per time. This is this design. I don't have edit access to this design. I would have showed you what I meant. So
Should I
this design now,
to edit it?
yeah, if you can give me access, let me just show them an example.
Okay. For the wireframe or for the user interface part?
Just give me access to the design. This Rota mobile banking app.
Okay. God body, yeah?
Yeah, God body.
Okay. I have. I'm giving you access.
Yeah, it's loading. Awesome. So now let me deal with these real designs and show you what I mean. Now this is a get started screen. What this does is when I come to my application, when I download the app and I click on it, remember there's what I call a splash screen.
Yeah.
This is what a splash is. And that splash screen stays for a particular number of time of seconds before it goes to the next screen. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to click on this screen, click on my prototype first, click on the screen, and that same thing I did here that navigated to this place, I want to do it here. So after delay, so when I click here, I navigate it to this place. Now look at the different kinds of prototyping tool I used here. Instead of on tap, after delay, when the user have seen it for like 3000 milliseconds, let it change to here. And then the next, when user click on next, let it go to here. Remove all of this. So which means when they tap next, navigate to this next screen. Skip. When I tap skip, navigate to this screen. Same thing here. When I tap skip, navigate here. When I tap next, navigate here. So what happens is, another question, now when you're prototyping, why prototyping is good is it makes you to also see some things that might be missing. What if the user wants to go back to this screen? How do I go back? It now takes that there should be a back button somewhere that in case I miss this and I want to read this again, I can choose to click on back and it take me back to this screen. But let's move forward. So next, take me to this screen. Next takes me to this screen. I want to remove all of those. Then create an account, open a savings account, can take me to this screen. Remove it. So on tap, take me here. Login can take me to the login screen. See what I'm doing? Sign up can take me to the sign up screen. So where does this screen come in?
Which one?
Where does this search history screen, where does it come in?
That is after the landing page, after you have successfully logged in.
Okay, so let me come to login now. let me prototype this, sign into this screen and show you something. Sign into this screen. So when you automatically logs in, how do I get to this screen? Where will I click to take me to this screen?
That's not the landing page. The landing page is by the right, the last frame by the right at the top. If you go up, like the last frame by the right, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so sign in should take me here. Oh, sorry. Sign in should take me here. So how do I get to this screen now?
Yes, if you click on the, can you zoom in?
Search history.
Yes. Yeah, there's search history, there's mini, so you can once you click on one, takes you to the next slide. Yes. And click on the other one.
Okay, perfect. But I want to do something. I want to show you guys something in prototyping. Let me duplicate this. Let me show you how to save yourself time and not stretch yourself so much. So this can work with this. This, all of them drag out and group, then change it to select frame. Awesome. So let me show you something. Now, when I click on here, while I need to take him to another screen, I can prototype this to come here, on tap, open overlay, rather than centered, bottom center, add background, make it 50. And then let me show you. So let me play my prototype. Let's start from the very beginning. Open interactive component, blah, blah, blah. Open anywhere. Okay, open.
You have tried working on one before and it was so we don't
It
know
was
how to
it was
we don't
it
know how
was
to delete
dark.
that flow. We don't know how to delete that flow yet. That flow one.
Uh if you want to delete your flow one, just this is flow two. Just minimize your screen. Look at where flow one is. Delete it.
Okay.
It's disabled for this file. That component will not work correctly in this prototype. Why will interactive component not work in this prototype? Awesome. Let me restart this. Okay, do fast. So you see how this splash screen works. It takes its time, then it changes to this. Okay, next. It brings me here. So login, then sign in. Sign in takes me to this screen. Now this is what I'm telling you. I can choose to remember what I did here. This is not a screen. This is just another element, but I want to show you how that I can prototype it to work for here. And according to Mariam's question, the different types of and where it is needed, prototypes. So when I click here, have you seen how this works?
Yes.
I can even choose to take a step further by smart animating it, moving from down up and make it 300 is okay. So close when you click outside. When I click outside, close. See,
Okay.
I seen this. Awesome. So these are the different options in prototyping, and these are how to go about your stuff.
Okay, there's
So
also one animation when going from one of the like for example this place now, when you go from like to be sliding to the left to the right, And then when I tried it, I tried using SmartAnimate or something. Like you can slide this over here can slide
That's
right.
not easy results.
Okay, this thing can slide like
Yes,
this.
yes. I actually tried
Okay.
it using SmartAnimate, but I don't know if I was the right thing I was doing.
Uh okay, I'm gonna undo this, but let me do something. Do you have more than 3 options? You have 4 options. How does this work? Okay, let me detach. Don't worry, I'm gonna redo it. And then let me what did you do here? But nevertheless, let me detach. Okay. What did you do there?
Should I show you what I was saying? Should I just quickly show you what I was?
Uh, hold on.
Okay.
Let me show you guys something. Then you can show me what you. Okay, guys, give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you guys something. How you can work with this slider. So I really do not know person that did this, what the person did here, but I hope I know.
I was the one that actually did it.
Okay. Uh, so let me just remove this to save myself the stress. Uh, okay. Oh wow, this is huge. Uh, I'm just trying to do something here. Um, hope I have. Who's this guy? Okay, let me put my auto layout, make it 0. Sorry, I'm messing up your designer. Don't worry, I will redo it for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you see that this thing protruded inside here? So, how do you now slide in to make it work? This is where prototyping comes in. Now, click on what you want to do. See this no scrolling? Change it to uh, horizontal. Horizontal is left to right, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Yeah, horizontal is left to right. here or down. I don't think that's on top. I think
I think this particular one you are doing now, I think the question is here that I want to ask it in the part whereby we have the beneficiary transfers where you can take the slider to the right. I think that's where this question now, the next question I wanted to come up with.
yes. Can you repeat what you said, please?
Okay, I said this part now where we worked on before. What I was asking was how this particular slider will move left and move right. We actually worked on it before. That we're using SmartAnimate where it just slides it. Okay, let me use this place as an example. This place, for example, when I click on this now, it
Okay,
takes me to this place. What do you say? What do you say?
okay.
I'm trying to show you what I was asking, like what I wanted to.
I wasn't hearing what you were saying.
Can you hear me now?
Is it okay?
Can
Go
you hear
on,
me?
go on,
Okay,
go on.
on the Figma file now, if you go to that
Okay.
Open Save Brighter account, if I click on the with BVN now, I want it to take me to this side. But now I decided to use SmartAnimate. Now, if I click on this one,
So to solve that is don't use SmartAnimate because you want it to open this other side. So it just normal when you click on it. Can you hear me?
yeah. No, it is breaking.
Uh,
No, we can't hear you.
Olayinka, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So when if you want to change from here to here, you don't have to use SmartAnimate. Just use your regular prototyping. Okay, drag it here, and then on top, navigate to this screen. Same thing with here. On top here, navigate to this screen. Why? Because you've already created, you just want it tap from here to here, tap from here to here. So
Yes.
SmartAnimate comes in when you want to perform special effect. Okay, you want it to move in, move out. But for a regular application, what your users want to do is to tap here and sign in with BVN, or tap here and go back without BVN. Simple. So just regular tap in, tap out solves that issue. You don't have to
Oh,
smart animate anything.
okay. I think it already answered my question concerning the one you were trying to work on.
Okay. You guys have
This one
any
you're
question?
wait, sorry, excuse me. This can you go to the beneficiary page? That is on um the beneficiary render account.
Okay.
It is yes, where you are now. I will be able to slide to the right to show the meaning of all this.
Slide to the left. Okay. Just auto layout all of that. Okay. And then drag it and then do your prototype to should be horizontal or vertical. Okay, let's play our prototype. Okay. Awesome. Are you seeing it? So let me show you what I did. Now, these are individual elements, right?
Exactly. Yes.
All those individual elements, let me undo. All those individual elements, group all of them.
Okay.
Like, highlight all of them
Mm-hmm.
and add auto layout.
Okay.
So when you add the auto layout, all of them will now come as one. But now you will notice, let me do this. You notice that the nested frame is protruding outside of your regular frame. So you have to drag this nest into the regular frame how you want it to be. Then
Okay.
remember, when you do that, it doesn't affect the other elements, just affect this outside the frame. They come to your prototype and
Can
change
you
it
go back
from
again? Sorry. Can you come back again? Sorry. Can you come back again, please?
come back to where
No, like after you have done the auto layout.
when you do your auto layout, you see how it's
Okay.
protruding.
Yes.
Just click on
Yes.
and reduce it to fit into the normal flow you want it to be. Why?
Okay. Okay.
Because you want all of this. Remember, this is a frame. So you want all of this to be
Yes.
playing inside of this frame, but you want it to be
Oh.
bound to these edges. Then you come
Okay.
to your and change it to horizontal. Play your
Okay.
prototype. So you see it.
Oh, mad.
Yeah. So let me undo all I've done before I will do
Sorry,
worse.
one last question. Sorry, one last question.
Like I've answered so much of your question. Let somebody else ask now. But
Okay.
just ask. Let me just run it down. Like,
In the place of if you check the account balance section, it is displaying one account, but it's supposed to be able to slide to display two accounts. I was when I designed the wireframe, I didn't know how to do that in prototype, but that was the effect I wanted because I actually saw it in one app like that.
uh, wait,
Did you get the
give
question?
me. No, I didn't quite get your question.
If you look at the landing page now, if you look at the landing page,
Okay. Which of the landing page this?
yeah, you can see that the account balance now, there are two account balance whereby um this this place here, if you look at here,
Which account?
here. Or you can come to this
Okay.
check balance. Now, if you go to that check balance now, just to be able to swipe to see the next account balance, or you should just click on one of these small things to actually. It shows
Yeah,
that
it's the same. It's the same.
okay, it's the same effect we did the other time.
Do you understand?
I didn't hear anything actually.
Oh shit. Okay. So what I'm saying is how to make that work.
Okay,
Click on the prototype. Okay.
okay,
you can use two options. You can use tap or click.
Okay.
So when I click on here, I should be able to see this screen. When I click on here, I should be able to see this screen. Okay, so I can use that tap or I can use drag. So when I drag this should come in.
Okay.
When I drag this, moving, this should come in. So let's see how this works.
No, you're not in the you're in beneficiary transfer page. It's supposed to be in check balance.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do this and see. We have just 1 minute. Hope this meeting will not stop when we are done.
Drag.
Somebody say something.
You said
It's,
it is
it's
drag action.
drag.
Yeah, so when it drags, it's supposed to navigate to. Okay, I don't know why that isn't working. But you can use tapping, navigate to the next screen. But I won't advise you use smart because what you want to do is once you tap it in, it should open this screen. Once you tap this as well, it should open the other screen.
Yes.
Oh,
But
yes,
everything within the account balance, everything being within the account balance.
just the account balance. This other stuff should not show.
Yes, just the account balance. Like this action that we want to take now should just be inside the account balance. Like once you click on the first button, it shows the first account balance. When you click on the other one, it shows displays the other one.
So how to achieve that? You need to duplicate the screens and then you can change the account balance to you can just to do 0000 whatever you want to do. Okay. So when you drag this, when you tap on this, just go to the next one rather than so go to the next one and as many as you want it to go to. Now this is just basic prototyping. Sorry for messing up your design.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would try.
this is just basic prototyping. They are way advanced prototyping. But I believe as you begin to play with prototype and go further, you will begin to understand more about what prototyping is. For instance, this thing I did here, I can do it on components without touching any of my design. Okay, I think there is a design I did. There's a design I did for Trality. I think I should be able to. Okay, this is Trality's design. So if I play this prototype, let me show you what I did. And then I will show you that everything here was prototyped. Everything prototyped. So let me show you how that works. Hope I'm not even scattered in the prototype. So you see how this works. Even this is prototyped. Yeah, this is prototyped. Continue to work out. This is prototyped. All of these are prototypes.
Yes. Oh.
This is prototyped. So you see how this is. You see how this. If you look at this top stuff, is changing on its own while I'm doing other stuff. All
Yes.
of these are prototyped. So let me show you how that is prototyped. Now this guy,
Icon.
this is its prototyped.
I.
So these are the different options, and then I prototype it inside of
Each other. Can't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you now.
something to explain. You get the
We didn't get that. Sorry, we
We
didn't get
can't.
that. We didn't get that.
We didn't get anything.
So what I'm saying is, you've seen why prototyping is very, very important, because these things I've done here. Can you hear me?
We did not get that logo loading part. We didn't get it. It was breaking.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you see why prototyping is important. What I've done here is, see how this logo is loading. If I try to explain this into a developer, they may not understand. But by prototyping this, they automatically see it, and I can do this to load slower. All I have to do is just come here. So see what I did. I created this one logo and then duplicated them into different angles, then prototype them to after delay. So when this thing delays to, I can make it to 300. Go to this one. When it delays to 300, it goes to this one. 300 goes to this one. Same thing, 300 goes to this one. And then I now do the last one back to here. So automatically it can calm down and load forever if I want it to load forever. Then this screen now, this screen that I placed it on is, once I click on verify account, it comes to this screen. When it has delayed for, let me change it to 4,000 milliseconds, navigate to the onboarding screen. So when I play my prototype, you see how it's loading. Simple.
Wow.
Then all of this, I can choose to skip and do whatever the hell I want to do. So this is the beauty of prototyping.
Nah, this
This,
purpose for preserving is too short. It's too short.
Prototype
Nah, it's too
mission
short.
has its own course.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
have you
For
seen what I did? I can choose to do this up and down, at the same time do this. So this is going up and down. This is going like this. So prototyping is, as you guys have noticed, it's a whole lot. But the thing is, you just need to keep learning, keep practicing, and keep using it,
sorry,
and
I hope it's not much anyway. There,
and eventually,
so this is what you did now about scrolling up, like I be on drag when you're dragging it up, and it was bringing some displays from under. No,
okay, what was
Horizontal
no,
and vertical scrolling.
yes, that what you're doing like that. When we're designing now, for the example now, the one I showed you now, it was everything was on display on just one of the screen. Are going to advise whatever we want to list or whatever details we want to put that's not going to show? Are you going to advise that we display on one screen, or we can increase the length of the screen? Then on the prototype, to show just this.
Yeah, you can increase the length of the screen. Look at my screen. Let me show you something. This is this screen. This is this screen. It is scrolling left and right, middle, and whatever you can. Let me see this screen. This is how long it is. So
How? Where? How? Hey.
this is how long it is. But in prototype, you will not see all that.
How
In
are you?
prototype, you will not see all
A
that.
book you can read on prototype.
There's
Now,
no book. I
how
don't
are you
think.
able to hide all that with the fact that the icons under still were still together?
Okay, let me show you this.
Yes, please.
Just the way I showed you how to how to nest elements inside your wireframe, inside your design, and then prototype it.
Okay.
If I'm designing, if I bring this out here now,
Okay.
and I'm designing,
Okay.
this bottom nav
Okay.
is fixed bottom.
Oh,
So it's always at the bottom. Yeah. So anywhere I take it to, it will still be there.
how where did you click for it to show the fixed button? Can you please show us again?
Look at your constraint, and you can
Okay.
constrain it to bottom, you can constrain it to top.
Oh.
Yes. So as I'm designing, it's taking me space. I'm still dragging it down.
Oh.
Okay, I can still
Okay.
drag it down and all that. Then what I did now is this guy
Okay.
is, yeah, so this guy
Okay.
this guy has its own frame. How am I
Exactly.
gonna explain this? This guy, every of this thing inside like this guy has his own frame. This
Yeah.
guy has his own frame. This guy has his own frame. I
Yes.
can group all of them into
Okay.
one singular frame.
Okay.
You understand? Group all
Yeah.
of them into one singular frame. Then, where is that my frame? I think this is it. Yeah, so all of them is inside one frame. That will not work. Are you seeing this? So I group all of those guys and then put them inside a particular frame. Okay.
Like you
Then
explained the other time.
exactly. Then the normal pattern for the normal height for my frame is 800. I just take this and apply that 800 there, and it matches. But I want to do prototype. This guy that has every of those elements inside is still dragged down. What I do is just drag it to fit normally. Then I do my prototype to scroll vertical. And remember, these other guys that are inside, let me undo this. These other guys also have their own children
Inside
attached.
features. Yes.
Exactly. They have their own inside features and inside stuff attached to them. So all I did is those inside guys, I prototype them to scroll. I prototype them to scroll uh, horizontal. You get, I prototype them to scroll horizontal while nesting them into a particular screen to scroll vertical. I hope somebody is not confused.
No, me.
We
No,
are.
I am
Confused. I'm not
confused.
confused. Yeah, I'm not confused at all.
You are
Okay, let me remove all of these guys and redo it so that you understand what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
So
Exactly.
you see,
Where are they
you see
coming
this, this guy has plenty children inside. Let me ungroup it. Let me ungroup. This guy also has plenty children inside.
from? Oh.
Let me ungroup them also. Mhm. So prototyping is very sweet, sha, very, very interesting. It's one of my, I use it to boo-boo devs a lot. Okay, so now let me show you what I did. I've made my stuff naked.
Okay.
So this is what I did. Okay. This element,
Okay.
I brought it here. I want to give this a name. I want to give this trending bots.
Okay.
I want to give this trending bots. Let it be in the middle. Let this guy be in the middle. Now, I want to do all of this and auto lay out all of them. These trending bots even have its own child inside. Give me a minute. Okay, this is top performing bots. Top performing bots come here. Awesome. So I want to take all of these guys and make it an auto layout. Of course, give you the desired size you want, be 24 or 16. Then I want to take this and take this and take this and group all of them. And I'll have this as this. I want to do same for this. Okay. Make this an auto layout and then group all of this. This and this and this. Now there's a reason why I'm doing that, because if I take them into my design, I want it to look like it is just only this one that is showing, but this now has an option to scroll left or scroll right. Then I want to do same for this recently added bots. Make my design auto layout and then do this and group. Then I want to now take all of them. Make sure 102 is too much. I want to make it 48. And then drag these guys and bring them inside my design. And then this is what I want to do. Make sure they are properly aligned, 24, 24, 24. Now you see that I still need to even still drag this chairman down a bit also. Awesome. So what I want to do now is I want to take this guy and drag him like this. Then change this to scroll horizontal. I want to do same for this guy. Drag him like this and then change it to scroll horizontal. I want to do same for this guy.
So you
Remember,
have to
it is inside.
before you group them.
Exactly. It's the inside I'm doing, not everything. If I do everything, both this trending bot and this guy here will also scroll. So I want to do only the inside, drag it here, and then scroll horizontal. That is set. Now I want everything to scroll at once. I'm going to do all of this and put it into a frame. But you know that if I do that, this guy, when I say scroll, it will scroll and come and shoot this guy in the head. So what I did now is I took a white rectangle and nest all these guys inside. Then I'm now going to take this and send this to the back. So when this guy is scrolling, it will be scrolling inside his back. So you will not see it clash with this other guy. So I want to take this here, measure it is. So I'm all set now. I want to take the top and my distance is 800. My size is 800. So this is that. But notice this guy is still here. I want to drag this guy to this place. To fit into my frame and then change it to scroll vertical. So when I come here, I can scroll it vertical and it will be going under the whole of this while I'm on top. And then I can choose to.
Yeah.
So have you seen that scrolling horizontal now works for this one inside that I did? And then either I'm scrolling horizontal or I'm scrolling. So all of them now works horizontal. So do you guys now understand how I did that?
Ah man, yes. I do.
Yeah, that's okay.
Nah.
I have a
Say so.
question. I have a question. I have my own question. And I don't know.
Okay, please ask your question. Let me undo this design where I don't spoil like this. Ask all the question you have in the world because I'm not sure you guys might be seeing me again.
Okay.
God, why? Why?
Please, there is this prototype I've been trying to achieve for a very long time. I don't know. I haven't actually gotten that. But it's not. Let's say that you have like a title. You have your you have your title bar and where you can see your battery and time and dates, but you have your title bar that shows the back button. But in that title bar, like you have an image, you also have a container image, an image that you have if you can actually
I
visualize thing.
I don't
You,
understand what you're saying.
okay. There's a title bar, like a title bar on top of your mobile. A title bar that has
Okay.
a back button and maybe a search button or something like that on top. Then on that you have an image, like it's on top of an image that there is a title with that image. Maybe let's say let's just take it as a GG app or something, or maybe Gravy app that we are trying to build. You have an image that has a title. So I want to achieve in such a way that if you are scrolling up, the image will just disappear and blend with the title, and then it's just written on top, something like that. Maybe the title will just be written from that the image. I don't
Like,
know how I'm going to explain this so that you understand.
okay, calm
Like the
down.
way yes, like the way this marketplace is right now, the image you are sharing, uh
Okay.
image you are
So
sharing,
you want
you
that?
have this notification bar, and then an image. Yes, let's say that you have an image in that frame, that marketplace frame. So
Um, okay, let me see if I can import an image.
okay,
Which image are we gonna use? Let me go to Unsplash. First of all, let me draw a rectangle. Okay, let me use this guy.
okay. You have it. Yes, you have it there all over, like
Okay.
all over the whole. Let it cover the whole. Even yeah, if the notification can actually come in and be wide, like laying on it, but let the yes, something like that. Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly like this.
okay.
Okay. And and there's a title. Maybe you just write anything on top of the image. Write anything on top of the image, but down.
What's your name?
Stanley Nwosu.
Stanley.
Yes.
Stanley is a boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now
You
you want to scroll up. Yeah.
want all of these guys to scroll up, but they should not. This one should be static.
Yes. This one will now go up to that, maybe to that logo area and become small. Like Stanley is a boy, and the whole image will now disappear. Like something like that. Like while scrolling, it just blends. The Stanley's
Okay.
will just blend as a title, and then
Okay.
the
So
image.
let's.
If you scroll down again, you see the image will be slightly coming back, something like
Okay.
that. I don't know whether you understand what
Okay.
I mean.
So let me show you what you mean. So let's do this, and then let's take this guy. So when I slide up, the image will disappear, but
Yes,
Stanley is
and the bot will
will
now
now
become a title on top.
become a title here.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think I understand what you're talking about. Uh, now let's create magic. While these other guys can still scroll comfortably.
Yeah, I can still scroll up. Yes, exactly.
Perfect. So let me show you what. Now, see what I did. This is the preferred screen. This is the scroll screen, and then I want to click the rectangle across this guy. I want to do this as white. I want to take it to back, and then I want to group all of these guys, and I want to take this to the back. Okay, but at the same
Okay.
time, I still want to take this here, and then I want to do this here, This nigga should be here. Now don't forget our Stanley is a boy, and here and here and here should be grouped. While this guy should go to the back. Then this my guy is prototype already. So on drag, let's see if we can achieve that. On drag, navigate to this guy and ease in. Okay. Let's see if we can achieve this. If we don't achieve this, people should not laugh at me. What's this guy's name? Starting flow. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, so drag.
Can I say something?
Okay, see what you want to say, please.
Okay, I don't know. I think probably auto animate my work in the way I've been doing prototyping before is you just the image will be in the same screen, but if you work with maybe opacity. So in the other screen that you duplicated, it will still be there, but you drag it in out. I don't know if you get the way you did for the auto layout. It will still be there, but it will be up, but it's not showing. It's still in that frame, but it's not showing. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I
Then
understand what
it
you
will
mean.
automatic. Okay, then it will automatically show your interaction between this screen to the other screen, and then you shrink the same text at the top. So when you're scrolling, everything automatically animates to the other screen with the effects, and the image goes up, like reducing opacities, something like that. I believe that will work.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. Um, I'm trying to think of something. Mm, I'm trying to think of something. Let me see. Will this work? Mm, that's really advanced to and this thing. If I scroll, this should go up. I get what you're trying to do, but I'm trying to see the best way to achieve that. It's not up. Because if I do smart animate, let's see. Let's see if this will work. On top. How can I forget how to do this? Okay. Shit. Oh man, I've forgotten how to animate that.
I don't know whether you should try what I don't know. Is it
Okay,
Code
can you
Mountain said?
say that again. Let's try it out.
Code Mountain, let's try it out. Please, can you say it again?
Okay, I'm sorry. The way I usually do it is, if I duplicate, let's imagine like this first screen with the image, you will duplicate
Mm-hmm.
it, and then it will still be there. Like everything will be there. Then you rearrange it. So what you want to do is you want to push the image upwards, right? Like the image will be go out. So you reduce the opacity. Like you will push it up in the other screen, and then you
Okay,
reduce the
okay,
opacity,
okay,
and then
okay.
the image in the other the text in the other screen will be small, and it will be at the top the way it is in the second screen now. But everything, because now the reason why it's not working is because the image is not in the other screen, and every other interaction is like it's just like you have an incorrect named layers, so it will not work. It's not animating. But if you the image is also there, it's scrolled up and all that, it would interact seamlessly with the other one. So it will be very, very easy. You can even use
Yeah,
tap, you can use scroll.
yeah, I understand
That's
what you
what
mean.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So what this is as this guy goes up.
Yeah. No, the image goes out of this. It's inside the screen, the frame, but it's like out. I don't know if you've been in and the way you did auto layout, and it was when you were scrolling from the side, it was still there, but you can't see it. It's still in the frame, but you can't see it. So it's above up, like like I don't know how to. It's at the top, but it's strict. So auto layout, auto animate makes interaction with the previous, and it just creates a link kind of. So that's what I'm thinking. That if you push it up and you reduce the opacity, it would
No,
like link up.
the reason why that might not work is because now
Okay.
for that to work, if you have to do a delay option to this and then delay it to say 3000 and then delay option from this to say 3000, let's say. So while you scroll on this, it leaves option to 3000 and then delays up to the reason why that might be difficult, because I understand what he's trying to implement, but the reason why that might be difficult is these are nested scrolls. You understand? So I'm not scrolling. Um, I'm not scrolling unless what we might do is if we might say, okay, if we might make, can you hear me? If we might make all of
Yes,
this,
I can hear you.
um, okay, awesome. If we can make all of this, uh, understand what he wants us to achieve, but why that might be difficult is if we're making all of this, because I'm looking at the logic behind scrolling and then it goes up and then the other one comes down. Now the logic behind that is for a frame like this, okay, for a frame like this, what I'm doing here is these guys in the insides are the ones scrolling up, and then this guy is static. And when you look at your prototyping, there really isn't an interaction that says scroll up or do that. So that is difficult because how am I going to explain this? if I scroll this, that stuff you explain, I don't know if you've tried that before and it did exactly what he says he wants to do. Because what he wants is, if you've been to a website, for instance, let's use, I don't know which website I should use, but if you've been to a website where as you scroll this guy shrinks and then this guy now comes in as the headline. And then while all of these guys are still scrolling up.
I'm getting
So
what
the
you're
reason,
thinking now. Like
yeah,
there's
so
a
the reason,
constraint, it will move to the other screen. Like
exactly,
there's a
the constraint
constraint.
is it, it may be possible, but if this is scrolling, there's no way to move to this other screen. You understand? You understand the constraint that this is giving us. There's no way this scrolling guy can move to this other screen for this other guy to shrink. And then there is also no way that, since I'm using just a particular screen, there's also no way that this guy will scroll up and then this other guy will shrink to the top until it disappears, and then this one now comes into this place. So that's the constraint that we are facing in this particular prototyping. You understand? You understand, Nelson?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if probably you can do the interaction in the same screen. So I'm thinking probably that example you gave us, because I really learned a lot from that one. I was thinking maybe overlay, but my head is still wrapping around if it's possible that you do your overlay at the top, and then if you're scrolling, you make the interaction, then you create like a box to cover it, and then I don't know, I'm still wrapping my head around it
Yeah,
and see if it will work.
that's the thing you're thinking about. I thought about it. Even overlay, if overlay has to work with an action, so that action is either you tap or you hover, that now gives you open overlay. You can't just from this screen open overlay to the next screen while you are scrolling. There is no scroll and open overlay. So I thank God you brought that question up. So that's the limitation that we are facing in this particular prototyping now. You get, so there's literally no way that as I'm prototyping, as I'm scrolling this, it should shrink this, and then this can come out.
Okay. I think I just thought about something. You might. Can I go on?
His network is breaking.
If it permits me to go, maybe I'm actually thinking of something that might work. It might not be exact real life scrolling, but it might work.
I think his network is bad actually.
He's actually talking, but network is breaking.
I think that is for development. But
Mr. Joseph, we can hear you well.
for prototype assistance now,
Mr. Joseph, we can hear you.
I think we should just type in a message so that probably reads it.
maybe I use it. Let me see if I can switch my network.
Back. You're back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
right now.
we can now. Okay, so I want us to think about something that you can show the interaction, but it might not be too real.
Yes, I can hear
Hello?
you.
Okay, go on, Nelson. I can hear you now. What were you saying?
Okay, I was thinking of I was thinking of something that can show the interaction, but it might not exactly work the way it is. I'm thinking that if you probably use that auto animate option, but the way it will work is when you scroll, the next screen won't show that live interaction, but it will automatically like show the next at the down, the next card at the down. So you can just probably, if it's a presentation, you might just explain that okay, this text goes up, the Stanley boy goes small, and then the image reduces.
That
I don't know
doesn't
if you
work well
understand.
like that.
It's not
It
live.
won't work so well like
It's
that.
not live.
No, no, it won't work so well like that.
Yeah, exactly. The essence of prototype is not for you to explain.
Yes, for it to don't work so well that way.
To work.
I
So
understand what you're trying.
I think that's the constraint we have. That question is very important, and I'll write to Figma to see how they can implement that feature. Because most of the stuff you guys see here are people that wrote to them, and then the feedback was what they implemented. That's a very important feature, especially in presentation.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
important
it's
feature.
very important. But
I was doing a project and I that was what I wanted to do, but the thing I couldn't actually achieve that, and it was really really difficult for me. So
yeah,
I even tried the overlay that Nelson said, but that didn't actually work because there was no scroll, just like you
there's a
said.
screw.
And I was like,
The
yeah,
only way that thing might work is if there's a tap. So if there's a tap, what you just do is tap from here to here. If it's a presentation that you're tapping, then you can now change this to dissolve, and then probably do 500. Uh, so what happens is once you tap it, it just dissolves like this. This is what you wanted to achieve.
yeah.
Let me
That's
let me
the money.
delete all these
I,
guys. So this is what oh,
I'm in a class, that's why.
okay, please mute yourself. This is what you want to achieve when it should just automatically do something like this. Automatically. But why that may not be possible? Because there's no place for scroll. While you're scrolling, it should change to anything. So
Yeah.
so that's a very very big challenge.
Yeah,
I was
it's a very,
actually
very
thinking
big
that
challenge.
I was even thinking that all of us here were learners, though, not knowing that they are professionals here already. Oh,
Wow.
Sir, I have, I don't know if it, I'm just like imagining it like if, hello? So,
Hello, is he here?
I think it's a network again. So let's just wait. Fix it.
is he still here, or am I the only one?
I don't know.
I mean, this prototype class is supposed to be like 2 weeks.
This is supposed to be a course on its own. It's supposed to be a separate course on its own
I'm telling you.
because this thing is
Imagine
very
designing.
is very
Imagine all the
important.
design that we've done now, and I had all the implementation in my head, but I didn't know how we were going to
You can't.
prototype. That's why we
Yes, and
collect
that's
stuff. We
I'm
just
still
design.
thinking
that's
that
exactly
that
how it
stuff might work. Like that auto animate. It might not be like it's live, like when you
Mm.
scroll, it happens. But I'm
I tried that.
thinking
I tried that auto animate, but if
Okay.
you scroll, the thing will just automatically show you that page immediately. Like you won't have the feeling of scrolling it, and it's just going like smoothly and
Okay.
transiting,
Okay.
like a
So
transition
what
effect while you are scrolling it. It just transits
how
all the way. The whole thing will just
how
be becoming small and stuff like that. It won't have that feel. So
yeah
This one you guys are even
yeah
asking me is already
one of
on my own budget.
what
I just want to
oh.
scroll left and right.
Okay,
Okay.
can hear you guys. Um, ask your question, please. What we call it tonight?
I call it a night in Jesus' name. Child, Jesus.
Okay, any
okay, so
last question?
finally,
Any last question?
okay,
So
finally, this
sir,
question was not
it's
finalized. No, Allah.
it's not really a question. No. I'm just because I really learned a lot of stuff this this class. I think
You
it's
know,
the
saying
most
we
interesting
learned
class
a lot,
I've
all
ever
of
had.
us.
Okay. Yeah, everybody learned a
This
lot.
is actually the
Okay,
best
so
class
So, sir,
I
how
want
can
to
we reach you?
wait. Okay.
Good question.
So
Uh,
I wanted to ask what
you can
happens to those elements like at you create an overlay. You just leave them there or you go with the better way of using components. That's the only question.
I don't understand. Can you ask the question again?
Okay. I've done some few prototype before, and so this one was a shorter means, I think. So, but the issue I'm having is those elements that you created. No, normally, if I want to create, I'll probably use the state, like maybe create a component and
Mhm.
interact with that, or I'll create I'll do different prints and interact it with that. But this one you showed me just now, like putting an overlay on top of it. Do you leave the objects like just hanging there, or is there something else to do with them later on? Those elements, those frames that you create outside, and then you manually put them as overlay there. Do you get the question, sir?
I even have a similar question. Like all those extra frames you
Okay,
created outside
yeah, so
your
this looks like
design.
this. Like this
Those,
frames
yeah,
like
those
this.
elements
Yes,
at the
yes, yes,
outside
yes.
there. Yeah, do you leave them
Okay,
there,
yeah,
or is just for presentation purpose? Just
yeah.
advice, I
So
don't
I
know.
leave them here because once you delete this, your wireframe is cancelled. You get so I do two things. Um, some devs don't have sense. Sorry to say that. They want to
We
this
know
thing.
that.
They want to see it. So what I do is for presentation's sake, 'cause when I'm presenting, I don't want people asking me very stupid question. So I just do this for presentation's sake. But what I do is I have my different pages for each page design. So let's say I'm designing this as a home page. This is a normal page. The second page can now have something like this. Can put this as a stroke. Then the third page can now have something like this. You get so when the dev is developing, he knows that this page, this page, this page. I design this and give it to them as a file. Then I create a separate page that I type prototyping. So that one I can freestyle and do anything I want to do. In short, if it's my prototyping page, is very rough. But when I play it, it looks beautiful. So I can create multiple outside stuff like this. See how all these things are just scattered. But when I play the prototype, they all fall in place. So I do this for presentation's sake. But for developer hands off, I make sure I do each screen like this because what they want to do is come, see the screen, and then understand what they're supposed to do. They will not go and be playing your prototype to view this particular thing. You understand? So it's important that when you're designing and you want to show them what each step does, do that in each separate screen. But for presentation's sake, you can just use one screen, freestyle all of this. Do you understand? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. It does. Thank you very, thank you very much, sir.
All right, guys. So somebody's asking, how can you reach me? Just go to Twitter and type only Joseph Carlo.
Only Joseph.
Only Joseph Kalu. It's my Twitter handle. Then my Instagram name is Joseph Kalu. So you can shoot me a DM. You can send me a gig. You can do whatever you want to do. I always respond. I'm not a snob. Or you can reach me via Kenny. I'm open. I'm on the net. All right, guys. The absence of any question. I hope we'll meet at the top very soon, and I hope we'll collaborate to do amazing projects together. Okay, so do take care of yourself and good night. You're welcome.